Minnesota Department of Human Services Background Studies. Welcome to this NETStudy 2.0 Minnesota Maltreatment Check Applicant Portal video overview. This video is for study subjects and demonstrates how to create your user account, how to create, submit, and pay for, if applicable, the maltreatment check application, and how to view your maltreatment check statuses and documents. For a written transcript of this video, select Show Transcript from the YouTube menu. For subtitles, select the Close Captions or Settings button. As a reminder, due to ongoing enhancements to the NETStudy 2.0 Minnesota Maltreatment Check Applicant Portal, you may notice slight variations between the images captured in this video and the version of the NETStudy 2.0 Minnesota Maltreatment Check Applicant Portal you use. For this video, and in the NETStudy 2.0 Minnesota Maltreatment Check Applicant Portal, the term entity refers to the agency. Now with the housekeeping out of the way, let's get started. NETStudy 2.0 Minnesota Maltreatment Check System Applicant Portal. To initiate a Minnesota maltreatment check using the NETStudy 2.0 Minnesota Maltreatment Check Applicant Portal, the entity must provide you with the Applicant Initiated Instruction Form. To create your maltreatment check user account, navigate to https://mn/maltx.dhs.state.mn.us/applicant/home. Select the Register as a New User link. On this screen, enter your information. The fields marked with a red asterisk are required. The email address you include here will become your username. Your social security number is not required and does not impact the outcome of your maltreatment check. Be careful to enter your information correctly. Once you register for your account, you will not be able to change your name, date of birth, or email address. If your name and/or date of birth is incorrect, your maltreatment check will be invalid. Once the fields are completed, select the Register button. Next, you will receive an email with a temporary password sent to the email address you included when you registered for your account. Please note that this temporary password expires 24 hours after this email is sent. If you are unable to log into your user account within 24 hours, please contact the Minnesota Department of Human Services, MNDHS, at dhs.netstudy2@state.mn.us to have a new temporary password sent to you. On the NETStudy 2.0 Minnesota Maltreatment Check Applicant Portal login page, enter your email address as your username and the temporary password. You will then be asked to create a password of your choice and create 2 security questions. The next screen asks you if you want to receive your maltreatment check documents electronically. Select Opt-in if you want to receive your documents electronically. Select Opt-out if you want to receive your documents by standard mail. If you select Opt-out, it will take longer to receive your maltreatment check documents, and you will need to keep your address up to date. To create a maltreatment check application, select the Create Application button at the bottom of the screen. Then, locate the provider number on the Applicant Initiated Instructions form and enter the code in the provider number field. Select the Search button. If the correct provider is displayed, select the Continue Application button. If an incorrect provider is displayed, contact the entity that gave you the applicant-initiated instructions form. On the profile screen, the information you entered when you created your user account will pre-populate and cannot be changed here. If information was entered incorrectly when creating your account, please email dhs.netstudy2@state.mn.us to request the information be updated prior to proceeding with your application. You may save your maltreatment check application at any time by selecting the Save and Close button on the screen. Once the required fields are completed, select the Next button. On the physical address screen, enter your physical address where you reside. If you receive mail at a different address, you will enter that information on the next screen. Select the Next button. The next screen asks for your mailing address. If your mailing address is the same as your permanent address, leave the box checked stating mailing address is same as permanent address. If your mailing address is different from your permanent address, unselect the box stating mailing address is same as permanent address and enter your mailing address. Then select the Next button. On the Prior Names and Aliases screen, you must enter all prior names and aliases, including maiden names, married names, name changes, and any other name you have used or have been known by. The entering of all prior names and aliases is required for the maltreatment check to be valid. After entering each alias, select the Add This Name or Alias button. Repeat this process for each name or alias. If you have not been known by any other names or aliases, select the box indicating I have never been known by any other names or aliases. Select the Next button to proceed. The next screen is the disclosure. The disclosure authorizes MNDHS to release all substantiated reports of maltreatment about you to the entity that requested the maltreatment check. Carefully read the disclosure statement. If you understand and agree to the terms of the disclosure, select Yes, and then select the Next button. If you do not agree to the terms of the disclosure, select No, and then select the Next button. This will close and terminate the application. If you are responsible for paying the maltreatment check fee, the payment information screen will display. If the entity is paying the maltreatment check fee on your behalf, this screen will not display. To pay the Minnesota maltreatment check fee, select the Pay Now button. You must pay the Minnesota maltreatment check fee before your application can be submitted to the entity for their review. After selecting the Complete Payment button, a new window will open to the DHS electronic payment system. Select the Pay Without Registering button and complete the payment process. After you have completed payment, return to the browser window with the applicant portal open and select the Next button. The final screen of the application is the application summary. This screen shows the information that you have entered. Review the information on this screen carefully. You will not be able to change your information after you submit your maltreatment check to the entity for review. If information needs to be edited, select the Edit Application button and make any needed corrections. When all information is correct, select the box stating the above information has been reviewed by me and is true and Correct, and then select the Finish button. Selecting Finish will submit your application to the entity for review. Once your application is submitted, you can track the status of your application and view your maltreatment check documents on the home page. Applications that have been started by you but have not yet been submitted to the entity for review will display in the Not Yet Submitted to Entity section. Applications that have been submitted to the entity to review but have not yet been submitted to MNDHS by the entity will display in the Applications in Process section. Applications that have been withdrawn will display in the Completed Application section. The status field will list a status of closed. Applications that are completed and have a final determination status issued by MNDHS will also display in the Completed Application section. If no maltreatment information was found about you in Minnesota, the status field will list a status of eligible. If maltreatment information was found about you in Minnesota, the status field will list a status of undetermined. Your maltreatment check documents will be available for you to view as soon as they are issued by MNDHS. You will receive an email notification whenever new documents are available. To view a document, select the name of the document located under the application on the home page. The document will open in a new window for you to view. Please contact the entity that submitted the maltreatment check on your behalf if you have questions regarding your ability to provide services. This concludes the video on the NETStudy 2.0 Minnesota Maltreatment Check Applicant Portal. Thank you for taking the time to learn about the NETStudy 2.0 Minnesota Maltreatment Check Applicant Portal.
Copyright 2023. State of Minnesota, Department of Human Services. Produced by Minnesota Department of Human Services. 444 Lafayette Road, St. Paul, Minnesota 55155. 651-431-2000. Toll free 800-657-3663. Toll free TTY 800-627-3529. Video phone 651-964-1514. Website https://mn.gov/DHS/. The Minnesota Department of Human Services, DHS, prohibits discrimination in its public services because of race, color, creed, religion, political beliefs, national origin, sex, public assistance status, marital status, age, sexual orientation, or disability. Direct discrimination complaints to the DHS Civil Rights Coordinator at dhs.info@state.mn.us or 651-431-2000. Individuals with disabilities may request reasonable modifications to receive DHS services by contacting its Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator at DHS_ADA@state.mn.us or 651-431-3040.